So listo, Henry?
Yes, we are.
He said it was like more baptized.
Yes, we are.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You are watching KUHS The Stream, and this is the Weekend Boost. I am your host, Paul Lane, the author of The Caregiver's Handbook, a self-help love story. Guys, as you know, I am a big supporter of CALMA, Colorado Alliance for Latino Mentors and Authors, and I always like to announce that this anthology is available. It's $20. It's a great collection of poetry, short stories, essays. I'm telling you, some wonderful Latino Chicano authors have contributed to this. I have 2 poems in the book, but please get a hold of us at the station. Let us know that you want a copy of one of the books that we have. And our guests today are going to be featuring a wonderful children's book that we're going to be talking about. Guys, I've told you about how this election has impacted me, and and I'm going to continue saying that, and it's impacted the world. And I told you about how I'm going indigenous. I'm letting my hair grow, so I'm going a little bit of greñudo today, but I'm wearing a hat. So just to understand, I know that this is kind of a, I don't know, maybe my mind thinks that it should be short hair, but in the studio. But I'm going ponytail, man. Why? I was just telling my guest a little bit ago. When the code talkers were forced to cut their hair, they lost a lot of their spirit, their medicine. The trackers that they would colonize and cut their hair, they would lose their tracking ability. Medicine men who had their hair cut lost a lot of their healing ability. And so I believe that having my hair long is going to add a dimension to my character, to my growth, to my spirituality that that I didn't have before. And it's a theory, but like I have a shirt that says I do what I want. Guys, we always try to feature a good variety of authors, people of interest, people of note, public community leaders, activists, and today is no different. We're so excited to have the guest that we have today. Thanks to Karen Gonzalez from Calma. I reached out to her a couple of weeks ago or last week, and I said, hey, I need someone to come on the show, and she referred me to the Saint Sisters in Santoya. This collection of women is they're very, very passionate about helping children become better human beings. Audrey Santos and Kathy Montoya. Guys, welcome. And then Angela Santos. And so the 2 Santos sisters make up the Saint Sisters, and Audrey and Kathy make up Santoya. And so, guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And so you collectively have put together a book and an accompanying music that goes with the book. And the book is called Journey to the Top of La Montaña de Corazón.
Yes.
Journey to the Top of the Mountain of My Heart.
Yes.
And you have a YouTube video that accompanies and supports that. And I really thought that was cute, the way you did the video with the kids in there. And, as soon as their voices came on, you could just feel the passion, the love that was really in it. And the kids just really, you could see they were really singing with a lot of heart. And so that was really cool to see.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes.
So guys, please, go ahead.
No, the songs that accompany it to the book, but for a long time my mom always said, you should do this with your nieces and nephews. Well, they grew up and had kids, so I have my great nieces and nephew, singing along with us, and it was just a wonderful experience to have them. And they were so eager to do it, and they practiced so hard, and all the pictures that you see throughout the video are them doing their rehearsing and drawing what hope, faith, and love means to them, and they really understand the story, and they're very happy to be YouTubers, so they're real excited about sharing it with their friends at school, and it's just wonderful, and we're already finally getting invited to go to schools and read the book for them. Well, they are. But yeah, so the song is just, just an accompaniment with the book, cause, the book discusses about hope, faith, and love from our inner self. So, but let me give you to the authors about that.
No, please, Phil, go ahead, feel free.
Do you wanna say something, sister?
Go ahead.
So, the book was actually inspired by, our grandmother, Mary Aguilar, and, for many, many years, she has kept a journal. And so for like over 70 years, she kept journals. And she was trying for so many, many years to share, her experience. She had a vision when she was 17. She, crossed over temporarily, and when she did, she was met by, our creator, and he shared with her this vision. And so there's a deeper spiritual meaning behind our book. So it's definitely for children, but it's also for adults and for everybody. So she's been a great inspiration to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Aguilar, oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to say something about Grandma?
I just wanna so my sister actually, this was definitely a labor of love. I mean, it was, not only was it a labor of love, but it was like ancestral. We can definitely see the people and the experiences that happen over the course of many, many, many years, lead to this story. And so the labor of love on my sister's part was that she went through all of my grandma's journals, and it took about, I want to say 6 years.
Well, probably like 10.
It was a long time.
Really? Oh,
It was a
man.
long time that she had to sift through everything and try and make sense of it. And then she pulled out the nuggets. And then she wrote a letter to my grandma of what she thought my grandma was interpreting.
Wow.
And so then she read it to my grandma, which, I mean, you can see, you read the letter and then the story too,
Yeah, well, so we read the letter, and what we decided is when we started to do children's books, we decided to help my grandmother kind of rescript her life through a children's story. And so the story is actually about my grandmother, and so the characters in the book are significant people in our family. So if you want to see the backstory, you can actually read my grandmother's letter on our website. When you go to our publications and you go further in, you can see information and read my grandma's letter and get the key nuggets of what she was talking about, which is hope, faith, and love.
Wow.
And here's a picture of my sister actually reading the book to my grandma for the first time.
Oh, cool.
So we were able to capture it and kind of just, encapsulate the wonder that my grandma was experiencing.
How did she respond to that?
It was surreal. I mean, there was a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of emotion, and
Yeah.
When I asked you that, your face is lit up. I wish I could have a
The
video
cool
of
thing
it.
is my grandma actually got the first copy of the book because we ordered it through Amazon for her. We just paid full price and ordered the book.
right.
And
She got it before
yeah,
we
didn't
did.
see the book. And we're like, Grandma, how's the book? Tell us what it's like. She was like, well, I'm still trying to get through it, but
These pages are hard to turn. But their grandmother is, how old is she?
She's 95. She'll be 95 in September.
95.
Wow.
yeah.
Or
And so and the story is just so significant because what it's really talking about, this little girl goes on a journey to the top of La Montaña del Corazón, but the deeper meaning is that we all have a journey to take to the center of our heart, to connect with the internal light that's within each of us that helps to guide us through life. And so this is a simple and practical way of teaching children how to connect with their inner divinity, is basically what it is. And so if you get a chance, look at the book. It's really colorful. The video, we pulled out pictures that really talk about, what the book is about. But ultimately, it's really about compassion and service to other people and how to make the world a better place. And so it's written in a way that's simple and easy to follow through taking a journey to the top of your heart or to the interior of your heart. So it's a mountain, but the mountain really is an internal journey that we all have to take.
Wow. Have you guys met Lulu Buck?
No.
She's in Colorado too. She does children's developmental books too. So I just was wondering because
I think Karen told us about her.
yeah, she's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think she did.
Yeah, she's also a member of Colorado, you know. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I'll tell you. Did you guys self-publish or did you have someone publish? Did you publish with self-published?
Yes, self-published.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're starting our own publishing company.
Oh
Because
man.
we plan on writing so many books.
Mm-hmm.
We have several books that have periodically been working on or almost simultaneously working on.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
man, that's
the whole
great.
our whole series is really about teaching more significant things, and so there's definitely some inner knowledge that we're trying to share with people. Kathy and I also have all of our music self-published as well. Audioscope Music, they're our engineers and producers, and so Luis Sandoval, thank you Luis, we call him our chief, he's a magician.
Wow.
Fantastic.
and we're just very grateful for all the talent with them as well.
Oh.
James, Keith, and
Yes.
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's you have to have that support. You have to have some encouragement. You need someone with technical knowledge. By the way, guys, I just want to take a minute to just thank Henry Archuleta, Jefe. I mean,
Thank you, Henry.
don't even.
Thank you.
You have no idea what it takes for a Zoom call to be done in the studio because we have to have a whole new computer, you know, to be able to put your YouTube video in the background, to have all of the technical things and all of the things Henry does. I'm just beyond grateful for not just my friendship with Henry, but for his support and his commitment to making this possible. So Henry, thank you, Jefe.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, forgive me. And while I'm here, I'm going to do our station identification. Guys, you are watching KUHS The Stream, and this is the Weekend Boost, and I'm your host, Paul Lane. We are talking to the authors of the book, Journey to the Top of La Montaña de Mi Corazón. We have Angela and Audrey Santos and Kathy Montoya. Together they make the Saint Sisters and Santoya. So there's a musical group and a group of the authors of the book. And so together they put together this a tool. I think it's a tool. I think parents can really, and like you say, it's not just for children because the book has more depth than, you know, it's much more depth than just basic knowledge. You know, the compassion, like you say, the compassion, you know, when my kids were little, I always used to give them character building stories, and we would read character building books and audio tapes, and I'm a big firm believer that when you have a child in the formative years, setting them on the right path, you know, raise up in the child and the way they should go, and they will stay on that path, basically, you know. And so, you know, books like this are so needed in our society, and there's so many people who are hungering for this, and you know, this is a great time for this. So you guys are in the right place at the right time.
That's what we keep saying. Yeah, we keep saying the same thing. We've been raised up for such a time as this.
Absolutely. You know, we're entering the divine feminine, and it's the time for the matriarchy. It's the time for men to step down and say, you know what, we've been assholes for 1,000 years. It's time. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's true. And men have done enough damage. I'm sorry, but I'm excited to see women that are coming into positions and starting publishing companies and writing their own books.
That's over 50. We're all over 50.
Yeah.
Just starting out our dreams.
Yeah, a few weeks ago we had Maria Gonzalez, and she started the program Adelante, and she's a dynamo, man, just a wonderful character, human being. And you know, we were talking about women. You know, the biggest group of people starting businesses in America is women, and the biggest group of women starting businesses is Latina, Chicana, Hispanic women, and you know, and so
Color.
yeah, that such a time as this.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and the
Yes.
world is in need of healing, and we have to go back to tribal ways and communal ways, because you know the world is getting crazy, and so we got to return back to the basics, which is hope, faith, and love, and hopefully that's what we can help people to recognize.
And the
And
greatest of these.
yeah,
Love,
yeah,
always, that's the answer.
love is the love really love is the answer.
Yep.
And this is also a family business. I mean, and my niece is involved too. Did you want to talk about Lorena at all?
Yeah, so my daughter Lorena, she actually designed our logos.
Oh, I like the
So
logo.
she designed our logos. She's gonna be our primary illustrator for the remainder of our books. At least for the series books. Um, she's also starting her own company. She does her own commissions.
And characters.
She designs her own characters.
She's a big fan
So-
of Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, she loves her Nathan. But yeah, we're definitely family centered. We're kind of all just in one accord. We our main purpose is just to share God and share love, and this is only the beginning for us because we're starting with the children's books, but we're also I'm also gonna be writing this series called Knock Down the Old Gray Wall series for women. It's based on my own personal experience of the devastation of divorce and how I was able to get over that guy in a godly way. Because usually, typically, you know, a lot of times back in my old days, it was like, how do you get over a guy? You get under a new one. And so I didn't want to do that anymore. You know, I wanted to do it in a way that I was going to learn. I was going to recognize my patterns. I wanted to incorporate other like modalities and just kind of change my perceptions. And so I went on this journey, and what birthed from it was these 3 books. The first one is Get Over a Guy the Godly Way. The second one will be Queenology.
Ooh, nice.
Your divine inheritance. And then the third one will be Make Jesus Your New Man, the arrival of the King. And so that's one thing. We're also working on some scripts, some movie scripts.
Wow,
So
good for
we're
you.
doing it all at the same time too.
Yeah, and we actually write under the name QL Sueños for our children's books because QL is a character in our movies who is
She's the protagonist.
she's the protagonist, and it's really about her way of helping humanity through this change. And so
And Los
she
Sueños
decides
are wonderful.
she decides to help, starting with the children and changing hearts.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, Audrey, you and Kathy, you sing quite a bit of different music. You have a couple that are on YouTube, and you know we had talked about those earlier. I got to hear those. Very cool. Would you like to do a song, or would you like to sing a piece for us?
Sure, we
Right.
can go ahead and
We
sing
could
a
do
piece
the-
from My Hope, My Faith, My Love.
Okay.
The one that's released with the book. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you created this?
The song was made up about 10 years ago. It's just been there in back burner, you know, for a time when it needed to come out. For me, this song was, I lost my mom over 20 years ago, and it's been real hard. And you know how it is when you're family, you know, and we need to heal and grow and stuff like that. And me and a couple of my siblings were not in the best place. And I don't like to not love my siblings, but you know, it's not cool not to be with them because that's all I have left. You know, my mom's gone, my dad's here, but you know, your mom and then your sisters and your brother. But me and my couple of my siblings were not in the best place, and I just couldn't talk to anybody about it, you know, because you can't complain to your family about your family, you know, that's not cool to do that. So I was like, I want to go to my father, and so you know, I was sitting there being all sad, and then I opened the Bible and I looked down and it says, you know, you have to have hope, faith, and love in me, you know, above all that, things will work out. And believe it or not, things worked out. You know, we're all, you know, unfortunately I lost those siblings, but we all are, you know, we're all family and we're still very much in love with each other. You know, I have my brothers and we're still wonderful, and they're so proud of that I got my nieces and my nephew involved in this, our great nieces and nephews. They always said, Mommy, what did you do this with our kids? You know? But you know, this song is just to believe in yourself, you know, because it is the hope that, you know, we can get through this. It's not wishing, it's hoping. It's a different thing. Because I know I can do this. I'm hoping that I can do this, and I have to try hoping every day. And then my faith, knowing that I can do this with help because I'm never alone. And then the love, if I do it out of love, of course everything's going to work out. And trust me, I did it out of love and everything to work out. So it's just a melody that I had for a long time. And then the ladies needed a song, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Kathy gifted us. Yeah, she gifted us.
Yeah, when we wrote the lyrics, Karen, our mentor through Coma, she was like, this is good. This is an opportunity for a songwriter. And we're like, yeah, we have plans to write one. So this song came out of that, and the lyrics are inspired by the book and the story behind the word.
So yeah.
Very cool.
The one who taught me how to play guitar was my mommy. So I've been playing the guitar for a long time, over 50 years. I was taught when I was a little girl. And my mom was holding my brother, and my little brother, he was always, anyhow, I was sick at home and, you know, going to school, and I go, Mom, show me how. I go, Mommy, show me how to play the guitar. And I remember her getting up from the couch and my brother falling. She goes, yeah.
She got so
She's
excited.
like, priorities.
Love your brother.
Break the leg.
You know, I learned from my mother on a little tinier guitar when I was a little girl. You know, I've never put it down. It's been my best friend, and I have a lot of best friends.
They all are
done.
named. Yeah, they all have their own names.
I'm not done having all my best friends,
Yeah.
but I've been playing, like I said, I played with the Teatro in Denver.
Well, and we've been playing together for about 30.
Well, no, I've known Audrey 41
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
41 years. We started as teenagers in a group called Las Estritas.
And we've been married 22 years.
And
Oh,
when-
wow. Congratulations.
But we started in our church choir at St. Anne's, which we're also involved in. St. Anne's is
Yeah.
a church in Dogpatch, I don't know if it's Dogpatch, Colorado. It's in Pueblo, a little community that they're doing a memory. The Pueblo Museum, El Pueblo Museum is doing a memorial tribute to the communities of Pueblo before they got. Thank God it's going through because the money's going away. Wonder why, but anyhow, that's another story. But we're doing this thing with them, and we wrote a song also for the Dog Patch community, and all the proceeds that go from this corrido, the Dog Patch community corrido, go to La Gente Youth Sports, and that helps them continue because they're going on their 50th year next year. They're having a gala, La Gente Youth Sports, for serving the community, all ages, all places, all over Pueblo. They help out everybody. So check out the song that's going to be broadcast live tomorrow on KUHS at 10 o'clock for Mother's Day. Keep watching. Thank you, Deborah, for all that help. Just, you know, so we've been doing the Dog Patch Corrido, wrote that with the mariachi choir, where my story was going, where I met Audrey to begin with at St. Anne's Mariachi Choir. And then after that, we formed a group called Las Estritas with some other ladies from other girls that we grew up with, Joanna Sanchez at the time, and Sylvia Montoya. But this is the song that we wrote for the book, and it's called My Hope, My Faith, and Love.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes something like this.
Do not be afraid. Don't be dismayed. 'Cause the Lord is with you. He will never leave you. He will never forsake 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 Believe within your heart, it's the perfect place to start. Trust in me and be, and set your spirit free to rise. My hope, my faith, my love. My hope, my faith, my love. My hope, my faith, my love in you. My hope, my faith, my love in you. My hope, my faith, my love. My hope, my faith, my love. My hope, my faith, my love with you. My hope, my faith, my love with you. Feel within your soul. It's the peace that you know. Confidence in me will set your courage free to rise. Your hope, your faith, your love. Your hope, your faith, your love. Your hope, your faith, your love in me. Your hope, your faith, your love in me. Your hope, your faith, your love. Your hope, your faith, your love. Your hope, your faith, your love with me. Your hope, your faith, your love with me. Your grace and my belief are the strength that I need. I will not be afraid because you show me the way to fly. My hope, my faith, my love. 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 Spilled over, spilled over. My hope, my faith, my love. 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 Spilled over, spilled over, spilled over. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I don't know how well the audio picked up, but that was definitely, we could definitely hear the audio part very good. Um,
Wonderful. Thank you.
when people are going through the darkest times in their lives, I think are when they need to hear these words or these kinds of encouraging sentiments. You know, I think about in my life as I've gotten older and realized more and more about the real keys to happiness and success and joy in life. They are love and gratitude. You know, and I talk to shamans. I talk to wise people, leaders, and they always start with love. And I always, you know, I always agree with that. But the other one is gratitude, and I don't know where that came from, but um, I just think you seem to have a lot of gratitude for your lives. You seem to be very joyful with what you do. You seem to be very content doing this. And am I right in that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
our dream. We've been wanting to do this for some time, and to have it come to fruition and to see it manifest before our very eyes is, it blows our mind.
Mhm.
And so we are so grateful because, you know, it's just unfolding in front of us slowly, and just to be able to share our talents and gifts with the world is it's very important to us.
Absolutely. Now, are you
Yeah,
guys
very.
booking? Oh, sorry.
No, just I just have an attitude of gratitude, you know, be thankful for what I have. Because there's blessings always. My grandma used to say, "You never know," which is true. You never know
Yeah.
or never when. So,
Yep.
just grateful for what we got.
Every day, every night when we go to bed, my wife and I, you know, we always say, "What are you grateful for?" You know, and or we'll just start, oh man, I'm so grateful, well, the dinner was so good, or oh, it was so great that we got to do this or go here, or, and it's all of a sudden when you start giving gratitude, more and more things that you're grateful for come up, and all of a sudden it's just like things that you never expected just start coming into your life. I don't care if it's emotional feelings or whether it's physical manifestations, but it's just like gratitude is just so core to
Yeah.
Absolutely.
satisfaction, contentment.
It's a frequency.
It is a
attracts.
frequency.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm all about frequency. That's what I do healing work with frequency. So man, you're speaking my language.
Yes.
Now, so I was going to ask, have you guys booked any engagements with churches or organizations, or is that something that's in the near future?
It's something in the near future. We, about 9 months ago, I stepped out of my full-time work and have been building our infrastructure, and then about 3 months ago, Kathy stepped out of work and we've been building our music, and now in June, my sister's gonna be stepping out of work. And we're gonna be doing this as full-time entrepreneurs, and so that is our hope, is to go to the schools, share it with the schools, make sure that every child gets a book. And so that's our goal, is to share it with as many people as we can.
Very cool. Now, when you started writing the book, I don't know about you, but I know when I started writing my book, I would write it and then I'd throw it away. I'd write it and throw it away. I had a bunch of blogs, and finally I started taking my blogs that I had written in the time of MySpace. And my book was actually a collection of my blogs, but I just had to format it and lay it out in a way. But man, that first page was the hardest. And
Yeah. Well, when we wrote the book, I mean, initially it was based off of, like I said, my grandmother's story, and so when my grandmother was young, she was very sickly, and so her parents were very protective of her, and they wouldn't let her really venture out, because every time she'd get sick, and it would take her days to recover, and so she would find ways to entertain herself, like little tea parties, watching the ants in the yard, things like that. So the story came about very naturally because it's my grandma's story.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of the rest of the story, like we said, like the little butterfly is my mother, Patricia. The little deers and the mother deer and the baby deer are a representation of her mother, Eloisa. So it's Ellie and Louisa. The grizzly bear is my grandfather, her husband, and then the two little baby eagles are my father, Manuel. He's called Emmanuel in the book, and then my auntie Elaine. And so it's the story is really about healing those parts through those relationships. But that was really the inspiration. So, and then my sister really helped rewrite the story to sound good. So she's one of our main editors, who really just helped fill the holes of where the story was missing. So we have co-authored this book together.
oh man, that's great. Now, having an editor is such an important part of the final book. I have so many guests that come on the show and they talk about, oh, there's so many mistakes and there's so many bad things in the book, and it's like, you have a book, I mean, how many people write a book? There's so few people who even have the gumption to write the first page. I always encourage people on the show, write page 1,
Yes.
And it's just after that, it's just a process, it's just the process
Yes.
of being consistent. And, Todd Fonestock has written over 22 books, and he sits down, he sets a goal 2,000 words a day, or, some people
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what, I want to get 1 chapter written. It doesn't,
Yeah.
There's no wrong way to do it, you just
Yeah.
Right.
really just write that book from your heart. And, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've written whole sections and said, I can't, it's not fit for the book, and I just delete it, and it's like, oh man.
I'm kind of like you, Paul. That's kind of how my writing has been. It's also like a labor of love, and I've been writing for like 10 years, and and so yeah, my process has been kind of like that. Like sometimes it just doesn't flow. it doesn't flow, I don't have time, I didn't like what I wrote. I mean, I have multiple intros to several different books that I've started. So it just depends. That's why I'm looking forward to now kind of stepping out of my 9 to 5 so I can get that time. Not that I lack inspiration, but also to kind of tap into that inspiration so that I can fulfill what I'm purposed to do. So yeah, I'm like you. I mean, it kind of comes and goes, but
You know, and even writing a song, you know, for a while after my siblings passed away, I was in this minor mood. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so depressing. And then finally it's like, oh, look at there's this chord. So you get out of that mood, you know.
Yeah, you have to find something that inspires you, something that lights a fire or makes a spark under you. You know, I write a lot of poetry. Well, I try to write a lot of poetry. I think I have about 60 poems. And I am telling you, there's so many times I'll sit at the desk and I'll just, 30 minutes later, I get up and I walk away because I couldn't come up with anything that I would think, man, this is inspirational or this is powerful or, you know, and so I think a lot of people, they get what I call the paralysis of analysis. You know that you have that gift in you. You know that you have the ability to write that song, to write that story, to write an essay, whatever the case may be. You know, a whole biography. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with the one step. You know.
One thing my sister says all the time too is just write daily. It doesn't have to be anything, just write.
Right.
Let your heart pour out and just get words down. And even when we write songs, you know, we write songs and we have 50 revisions before we get a final song because you know, you want to use words that are gonna really touch the heart and convey the message you want. So sometimes it's just writing every day. And sometimes it's taking a risk. I mean, we've had to step out of our jobs, and that's a scary thing, but it's following our dreams and our passions, and so we've had to do it in a way that really allows us to build from the inside out, which is why we've stepped out in phases so that by the time we're all ready, it'll be full steam ahead, which is now.
Man, you guys are on it. Kind of scary.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is.
This song says, "Do not be afraid." Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed, for I am with you. So just trust in that. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, you definitely have to exercise your faith.
Exercise.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you wrote this song. I gotta stand by what I wrote, you know.
Right on. Yeah, you gotta live by those words. That's such a great point.
You know, and it's getting passed down to, you know, the most important thing, because my mom always said, you gotta share your gift, and I offer, you know, hey, you wanna play, but these kids, I go, do you wanna sing with me? They're like, yeah, I wanna be a YouTuber. I go, okay, let's do it. And they had their say on how this song was made too. I would show Patty, and I go, what do you think, Patty? She goes, I can't hear me, Auntie, or Louie. I was like, okay, I'll tell Louise. What do you think? Auntie, I said I couldn't hear me here. I go, okay. So then every day taking her to school, and I go, okay, I got the next one back. She goes, and she's listening very intently. She's like, okay, yeah, I can hear you now. So yeah. But the song is, you know, do not be afraid. So we're not being afraid.
And it's a daily practice. And so we try to do the same, you know, practice we can only write about what we know, you know, and so we're trying to write about what we know.
And you know, biblically, every time an angel would appear, they would always say, be not afraid, you know, be not afraid. And so, I mean, it was just almost a call to action, you know.
Yes.
I know, for me, I'm thinking about when we go to the Capitol, it's scary, man, because we wear our keffiyehs. We do not support genocide, and so my wife and I, we have our Mexican flag, and I have my MAGA shirt. Mexicans ain't going anywhere, and I know that someone could, you know, we know someone could stop and do some harm to us, but we're not afraid. I'm literally ready to be a martyr if that's the case. You know, I'd rather die on my feet than to live on my knees, Emiliano Zapata said. But fear is the one thing that's stopping people. And you know, I mean, there's someone out there thinking about writing a book, someone out there who's thinking about writing a poem, and you're afraid. You're afraid of something, a fear that's not even real. Guys, get your tablet out and start writing. If you have to start writing it on your book, on your phone, do it. Get it started. Just step one. That's what I tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Page one.
Yep, yep, and you
It's
never
so
know
true.
when you can inspire someone else.
Oh, absolutely.
Through your story, so, yeah, just don't be afraid, jump in.
Yeah, I mean, the words of your song, the words of the book, just they're very encouraging. When you have a mission, the fear isn't nearly as powerful. The fear isn't as restricting as it used to be. It's almost like you break the bonds with that mission, with the vision.
Yeah.
I saw a thing on the wall that said, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And
Exactly,
and so
That's right.
um,
That's in the Bible.
yeah.
Yep.
there's
Well, that's what we say too, like, set your target. Be clear on what your target is first of all, like set your vision, like you said, and then feel it. You have to feel it inside. Feel it in your heart. See it, be it. And once you set your target and your arrow goes, then every day do a little bit towards your goal.
Yep.
And then before you know it, your goal has manifested into reality. And so this is evidence of that.
There's
Every
evidence.
day for the past several years, we've done a little bit towards our goals, and now it's crossed over, and so we're excited to see what's gonna come of all of this. So
Yeah. There's an affirmation that I like to, I learned it when I was 20 years old, and I share it every chance I get. And it says, whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass.
yes.
Yes.
And it sounds like exactly what you guys are talking about. You visualized it, you believed it, you dreamed it, you enthusiastically acted upon it. And there it is, and it didn't just appear, it was created. And
Yes.
it was created through your
You're gonna
determination.
be dedicated to your work every day, and these ladies are evident of doing this. They've worked on this book for years to honor their grandmother. Find hours upon hours. Trust me, I know. It's like they'd be gone on most of the time, and then they come back. We wrote down a chapter, and then it comes back down to 10 words. Okay, we're going to work with these.
Wow.
They're doing it though. They did it. I'm very, very proud of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man,
You want us to show our QR codes if
Yes.
anybody wants
if
to?
if someone wants to get a hold of you or reach out to get your book, hold up your QR code if you would.
Okay, my sister's gonna hold it to the screen so everybody
This
can
is
see
for
it.
the
Guys, get your phones ready. Yes.
A little higher. There you go.
Back
This
just
is
a little
Saint
bit. Back.
Sister's website.
Go back just a little bit away from the screen. Right. Okay, maybe better closer. There you go.
Right, there you go.
Okay, get your phones out, guys. Put that on there.
That's Saint Sisters. And you can connect to Santoya from Saint Sisters as well.
It's all linked together. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Audrey.
719-294-1186.
That's
Yep.
it.
That's it. That's the business line.
So that's the business line, that's our card, our logo, and then here is Santoya.
A little closer.
Oh, that's good right there.
You there?
And there's Santoya.
Yeah.
Backwards, but yeah, that's us.
No, it's actually forward. It came out just.
Oh, it is forward on
Yeah.
that side.
So yeah, so there's your QR code, guys. Get this book, order this. If you have children who have a birthday coming up for Christmas, this is a wonderful gift that you can give to someone, and adults as well.
It's also for the inner child.
Oh yeah, man, I'm telling you, more and more people, there's talk of a great awakening, and it's been going on for 30 years, but
Yes.
there's a great awakening taking place, and it's more and more, I don't know if you know about the Schumann resonance, but there's a frequency that's in the earth, and it's in all of us, and the Schumann resonance has been having time jumps where you could look at it where it was going, and all of a sudden it stops, and then it starts again. No one knows what this means, or what it's never happened before. But there's a great awakening. There's a consciousness, a huge consciousness taking place. During my wife's illness back in 2007 and 8, I stumbled upon Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, and man, I tell you what, I was in the middle of the worst grief of my life. I was only 48 years old, and my wife was about to die, and I just watching her wither away, and I thought, man, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna want me? What am I gonna do with my life? What about my poor wife? And it's like, after I read that book and understand about this great awakening, I became much more cognizant of my position. And yes, my wife was dying, but I was not dying. I don't know. I guess you change your perspective on the good and the bad when you're in a position of consciousness or awakening. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. And we always like to, I don't even know if this is an original idea, but we like to call it the truth perspective, and how it's you. That's why I like spending time with God. Like, it's so important to have that alone time with God, so that, because if your heart is ailing for any reason, when you spend that time with God, He will show you the truth perspective on what's going to be most conducive for healing and for love for all parties involved. And so, yeah, that's what we like to call the truth perspective.
Yeah.
And even like when you were talking about dying, and the process of dying, and how you were able to go through that process, the truth perspective for us is, in that particular situation, is that it's like, look at the leaves on top of the trees. What happens? They fall down. So when they're on the ground, what happens with those leaves? So everything below the leaves will die. They won't get sunlight. They won't get anything. So everything will die on those leaves. But if you get those leaves and you mulch them and you mix them in with the soil, then they become fertilizer, and the decomposition then goes, that phase of the leaf then goes on to the next phase. Absolutely. To provide nourishment for the ground so that new growth can happen. Yeah. And so that's like a perspective on death. It depends on what you do with the death. Are you going to let it just sit there? Is everything going to rot and die? Or are you going to use that
Uh-oh, we froze here. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, Henry's not here either.
I'm watching it.
Oh.
It's on their side now.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that. So we froze.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics is life and death. I just love that. That's very fascinating to me. Kathy, I was hoping that you could talk to us a little bit about Su Teatro. A lot of people, I grew up in Denver and I've never been to Su Teatro. I'm ashamed to say it, but you inspired me, and I definitely want to know more about it.
Well, please go down. First Friday's coming up at the Denver Su Teatro. It does reach out and it has the summer classes and things like that for younger, guys and gals and everybody who wants to be a part of the theater. To get into it, it gives you the opportunity to allow yourself to create and to be somebody different. Just in a personal experience, it was one of the best times I've ever had. You meet people of all ages, and I met some really great friends from there. Manuel, Manuel, he was on the stage and he came down, and I go, how did you get in this? He goes, the reason I got into this because my kids said, oh, I can't do that. And he goes, his wife had passed away and he was raising his children. And he goes, what do you mean you can't do this? He goes, what's wrong with you? And he goes, watch. And he went down there. And Manuel's been acting now forever, and his kids never took it up, but he got the bug, and it was, you're never too old. We have some really great friends, Yolanda Ortega and Deborah Gallegos. They've been involved with the theater since it began, and they're always willing to take other people in and help them create their art, help them build up their art. They're always looking for musicians. They have an annual time to go, try out. And it's open not just to, you know, the Mexicano cultures or the Chicano cultures, to everybody.
Mhm.
And the plays are very, very multicultural. We, you know, like I said, we did about the Ludlow Massacre. We did one,
The West Side
the West Side
Oratorio.
Toreo with
Yeah,
the
that was
history
great.
downtown,
Mhm.
you know, where Metro and, you know, the university is.
Mhm.
But they're involved in the community and they've been around for a long time and they're actually world renowned. They were just honored not too long ago, and you know, they have wonderful artists coming in and out.
Mhm.
And in the summertime, I wonder if they're gonna have, they had it yet, but they have an annual Chicano day where they play music live out there. Just go check it out and
Yeah.
be, you know, take part in, you know, still honoring our arts and supporting our arts. It's here locally,
Right on 8th and Santa Fe downtown.
downtown, and it's been around for a long time, you know. And again, you know, kudos to Tony and his, you know, all of the people there, Art and everybody. Thank you, but it's a wonderful thing. Take your time to go, just get educated and, you know, just get some culture in you from your, you know,
Yeah.
Some wonderful plays.
Yeah,
Or theater.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I've seen stories on NPR of performances that have been at Su Teatro, and it's like, man, that's big time. Su Teatro's, I mean, we have something wonderful in our backyard, like a Daniel Gallegos, or I'm sorry, Daniel Valdez.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we have like a Rodolfo Anaya opportunity right here, and you know, and right in Denver, and you guys go to the Su Teatro.
Yeah.
You know, just to go see a play, or even just to go talk to them and see how you can get involved. You want to be in a play? Guys, this is it.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
stretch out
Yes.
out your abilities, you know,
Yes.
and it's wonderful. It's a great experience. You know,
Yes.
It's just super cool. I loved it. All of it.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there listening to this and they're saying, I'm much too old for that, much too old for that. But when does a tree stop growing?
That's true.
It's true.
It never stops.
It's never
I
too
love
late
that.
to start
Oh,
something.
I love that.
Never too late.
Never too late. We're examples of that. We're starting this in our 50s.
Yeah,
so.
man, you guys are an inspiration at you know, I mean, I think you're young because being, you know, my age, but I think it's wonderful to see you at this age just blossoming, and it's like, you know, my sister's husband used to tell her, oh, honey, you're a late bloomer, and I was thinking about that on the way here, and now seeing you guys is just like, it's never too late to blossom.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, and to live, yeah. We're meant to live, so live
Yes.
and enjoy your life
And you
help
guys,
another out in the process.
again, you said you're gonna be on tomorrow on Kuvo at 10 o'clock, or,
Well, they're gonna play. No, it's not a live interview, but they're gonna play the Dog Patch Footy though, because the exhibit is coming up next week, so the 17th. If any of you have an opportunity, please come out to the El Pueblo Museum and check out the Memory Project. We were members of the advisory board, and so helped put the exhibit together. But Daniel did a wonderful job.
All the ladies from St. Anne's.
Curating the
all of you.
exhibit, yep, and the whole advisory committee and everybody who contributed. It was a whole community-wide effort, and so it's just another example of community coming together to help one another.
it's gente, it's people, it's all
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, big shout out to, La Gente Youth Sport Group. When we needed a place to rehearse with all of these folks, they gave us the opportunity, the place to go rehearse. And again, all the money that is raised to the Dog Patch Corrido goes to the La Gente Youth Sports to help those kids go to the museum, or, you know, if they need mitts or they need baseballs, or, you know, they're involved in wrestling, boxing, baseball, and these kids, it helps them thrive. We have from La Gente, we have from East High School, their alma mater, we have Kane, I can't remember his last name. He was drafted to the Washington what are they called?
Commanders.
The Washington Comrade, what are they
The
called?
It's
Commanders.
like a new team. Yeah, if you just
The
was-
Commanders.
Commanders.
Wow.
He's an NFL player from La Gente, so, you know, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And he started off in La Gente, so it does help build character, whether it's the arts or sports, you know, get these kids involved in believing in themselves so they can
Yeah.
have hope, faith, and let them pass it on.
And
Absolutely.
they inspired us. John and Elaine Madrid inspired us through their continued work. They're celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year, and so we'll be helping them. And just they inspired us, so that's why we wanted this song and all of the contributions of selling the song to go directly to them, because they have done so much for the Dog Patch community and the Pueblo community, and so they're inspirations to others, and which there's just so many people who inspire us all the time.
I mean, just the rich history in regards to how even St. Anne's Church got there and the community getting built up itself, getting roads paved, you know, and the community, neighbors helping each other in any which way, you know, they help, their community got split by the highway. They have hand in hand and stopped the backbone of Colorado was Highway 50, and that's what it was called at the time.
Yeah.
To have bridges built and, you know, to mend some broken hearts, because a lot of people died because they, you know, they separated a community and they didn't give a darn about the kids going back and forth crossing that major road. So, you know,
Wow.
Dog Patch has a lot of rich history, so that's what the song's about.
Yeah.
Rich history of the community.
And you talked about advocacy. That was an entire community that was advocating, and they shut down the highway. They shut down
Wow. I
the
did not
highway.
know that.
Yeah, so that's collected in the museum project, so definitely everybody try to make it to that.
The 17th.
The 17th, and it's going on for about 6 months at the Pueblo History Museum.
Pueblo History.
4 o'clock.
4 to 7 on the,
Saturday.
Yeah, that's the grand opening.
Wow. Wow.
It's being open to the public that day, so.
Wow. And guys, thank you so much for being such an inspiration to so many people. You know, I know that this book is going to reach a lot of hearts. It's going to touch a lot of lives. I just feel very, very strongly. Journey to the top of La Montaña de mi Corazón.
You can get it on Amazon.
And the song as well.
And the song as well. You can get it on our website.
And you can go on YouTube and find that too. So the corridos and the songs. Guys, we have been talking to the Saint Sisters and Santoya, and they have authored the book, and they have put together a collective, a collection of wisdom and information and guidance for people, not just young people, old people, people who are seeking, people who are in need, people who are hurting, people who are searching for answers, spiritual answers, with in terms of your faith, and so I just, I hope that your book has great success in all that you do. Why don't you hold up that QR code one more time?
What was that?
Hold that QR code up one more time, if you would.
Okay.
Guys, get your hands on this book. Like I said, if you have a child coming up with a birthday, get your phone out, get that QR code, get this book in your hands. We are about out of time, you guys. I'm so grateful to have had you. So nice to have met you. You're really an inspiration to me, and just, I feel like I'm gonna go home and maybe write some poetry today. I really do. And man, you guys are gonna start your own publishing. Yeah, really. It's like I say, it's really tough to do sometimes, but man, when you get, some inspiration like that, it really is good. It's a little kick in the butt sometimes you need.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Yes.
You inspire us also. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Guys, you have been watching the Weekend Boost. This is KUHS, The Stream. And I'm just so grateful that you've joined us. Please tune in, watch us. Guys, I'm not going to be here in 2 weeks. I'm going to be in New Mexico, going on a spiritual journey with the Native American community. And but I'll be back in a month, and I look forward to talking to you. We have been talking to Santoya and the Saint Sisters from Denver and from Pueblo, Colorado. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Paul.
Mr. International is coming up. He's going to be putting on some good music for you. And thank you for joining us. Again, this is the Weekend Boost on KUHS The Stream. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. That was